After 60 days with the iPhone 17 Pro, I've had plenty of time to properly test all that's new with this phone. The A19 Pro chip, the improved thermal design, 48 megapixel cameras, and most importantly, has that battery actually improved since my first review back in Japan, where it basically gave out at 5 PM. So let's answer those questions and see how this phone has held up and if the upgrade to the iPhone 17 Pro is worth it. So as you know, with the 17 Pro, Apple made a big design change, reverting back to aluminum from titanium, and in my experience over the last couple of months, it is definitely way more prone to scratches. Like at the bottom of my phone near the speaker grill, it already has a scratch there because I dropped it very ironically when I was changing cases. So yeah, it's an absolute scratch magnet the second it's bare out of a case, and more than I think the 16 and 15 Pro ever were. And Apple responded to this scratchgate, explaining that a lot of the marks seen on the in-store iPhone 17 Pros aren't actual scratches, but what they call material transfer. And if mine is anything to go by over the last few months, it's definitely less scratch resistant. And while I was filming this video, I managed to somehow break the screen protector, no clue how, but yeah, thankfully the screen protector was on, otherwise this would have been yet another big chip on the phone, so absolutely worth slapping on a screen protector long term. What this new design change does do well though, is it disperses heat pretty well. It stays cool most of the time as long as it's not out in direct sunlight for a long period of time, and a big improvement I think from the previous two generations of titanium iPhones. I've yet to see the notorious overheating message pop up on this phone, and I've gone through some really hot days with this iPhone 17 Pro in the sun, so that's a big win. But depending on the charger you use, you'll still find it gets quite hot to the touch. For example, charging it in a Tesla Model 3, it gets really hot to the touch. But outside of that, I absolutely love the design and this deep blue color. Zero regrets going with deep blue. I love the way it looks in person. There's also some pictures you might have already seen of the cosmic orange colors fading into this pinkish color. Don't know how common it is, but it is something worth knowing. And have you guys seen the fan renders of the iPhone 17 Pro in black? Holy heck, it would have been the cleanest color by a long shot, and such a bummer that Apple doesn't offer the 17 Pro in a black color this year. Now, powering this phone is the incredible A19 Pro chip, and after 2 months, it still blows me away. It blazes through all the demanding tasks the iPhone 17 Pro can hold up to, things like editing and exporting 4K videos in CapCut, editing and exporting Lightroom RAW photos. These things are absolutely faster than the 16 Pro by a reasonable margin. The only obscure task I've found it struggles with is filming and saving Apple Log 2 videos in the Final Cut Camera app, so loading videos can feel very laggy, and after recording a Log 2 video, it could take up to 10 seconds for it to appear and play back. I've had so many moments when I was traveling and shooting in Log 2, and I just had to wait around for that video to pop up so I can review it again and potentially take another shot. But outside of that, the fact that you can shoot things like Log 2 and you can play incredible games and pair a Bluetooth controller, and heck, even hook it up to an external display via USB-C if you really wanted to, is pretty incredible. And at this rate, it's a portable gaming console that occasionally makes calls. It's that powerful. The A19 Pro is a workhorse of a chip, and it's really battery efficient too. So let's talk about the battery life, because yeah, this is an interesting one. If you watched my day in the life review a couple of months ago, I managed to squeeze out about 4 hours and 26 of active screen time. That's not too bad. The phone did die out at 5 PM, so it didn't make it to the evening, but to be fair, it was a brand new phone that was still indexing. I was traveling and I was going hard with its cameras. So since then, I was hoping that the adaptive battery setting and iOS indexation would help, and well, it absolutely has. I'm getting anywhere from 48 hours of active screen time and 8 to 12 hours in screen idle time. That's a big leap, and I'm often getting to the end of the day with like 20 to 30% battery left. Most of these days, I'm working at the office and not using my phone super heavily, but when there's like a big weekend, I'm using the camera a lot, I'm using navigation a lot, and even gaming, I'll get closer to that 4 to 5 hours of active screen time. So can the battery life be improved? I think, yeah, there's always room for that improvement around batteries, especially when it comes to iPhones. I think they're lagging a little behind in the battery department. I mean, take a look at the insane Xiaomi 17 Pro and its huge 6,300 milliamp battery. So after 60 days and about 50 charge cycles, the iPhone 17 Pro battery has optimized to a point where it's good, but it's not incredible, because on the busy days when I'm traveling where I heavily use the phone, I know I'll need a battery top up. And so that's why I've been pairing it up with Anker's new Prime charging series. It's Anker's most advanced fast charging lineup, and they're kindly sponsoring this segment of the video. So this is the Anker Prime 160 watt charger, and it's wild how compact it is. It's about the size of AirPods Pro 3, but it can charge my MacBook, iPhone, and accessories simultaneously with 0 slowdowns. Inside, it's powered by smart charging tech that actually thinks for you, automatically sensing every device and sending the right amount of power to each one. And with up to 140 watt single port output, it's just as fast as using 3 original Apple chargers minus the clutter. The useful smart display also shows real-time wattage and temperature. It's kind of like your charger finally grew a brain. And when I'm traveling away from my wall plug, I bring this. This is the Anker Prime Power Bank, a 300 watt multi-port fast charging power bank that can charge 2 MacBooks and a phone at once. This power bank has a huge 26,250 milliamp capacity in a compact design, so plenty of juice to get multiple devices through the day. So between the two, I've basically eliminated battery anxiety when editing outdoors or hopping between flights. So check out the link below for a limited time discount to these chargers, and also a link to the Prime 100 Creator Program to win some Anker prizes. So moving on, let's chat about the camera. It comes to nobody's surprise that these cameras are incredible and one of the biggest selling points. 48 megapixel JPEGs and RAW photos, strong performance in any lighting condition, and plenty of software improvements. This is honestly about as much mobile camera as anybody needs. Like seriously, I've literally traveled and done client shoots on just the iPhone 17 Pro in Pro RAW mode. After applying a quick preset and adding a slight adjustment, I cannot tell the difference shooting on this phone versus an entry-level dedicated camera unless we pixel peep. I've also still been finding that the new square sensor in the front selfie camera to be a great quality of life change. It's easier than ever to fit everyone into a picture at social events or parties, and it keeps you in the moment rather than fiddling with settings and angles. But I still don't like how the 8x zoom is marketed as optical quality zoom, because calling it 8x optical just isn't accurate. It's still a digital crop. It's sort of like calling instant noodles homemade. Technically correct, but like, come on. Video on this phone, however, makes me very happy. I never thought I'd exclusively film on the iPhone's new Log 2 mode, but geez, is it good. That flat color profile is so easy to edit and post by adding a correction LUT, saturation, contrast, and things like that. And the visual quality is just stupidly good for a pocketable phone. Honestly, I could talk about the cameras and videos all day, but instead I'll leave links to an iPhone camera tutorial and presets if you're interested in the links below. All you need to know though is that these cameras on the 17 Pro are incredible, and it's about as much camera as you need on any mobile device. Another functional software upgrade is the operating system itself. iOS 26 on the iPhone 17 Pro is great. Initially, I wasn't the biggest fan, but the translucent effect of dragging down Command Center, the spatial wallpapers, and lock screen, and overall aesthetic, I've come to love. It feels fresh and new. Then practically as well, the phone's new call screening improvement has saved me from wasting time on useless spam calls. The new message features like polls and custom backgrounds is great fun too. But in the earlier versions of iOS 26, I did run into moments where my iPhone straight up froze and rebooted out of the blue. That's never happened to me before on an iPhone, or at least it's very rarely happened. And I experienced it like 5-6 times on the earlier versions of iOS 26. Ever since updating it, it hasn't happened to me yet, but yeah, the earlier versions did seem a bit unstable. I also personally still don't like how the new Photos app is just, I want the old layout of Photos back. Let's just say that. And let me know if it's just me, if you guys are enjoying the new Photos app yourself, or if you prefer the older Photos app like I do. Anyway, that brings me to the dislikes, because to be fair, there actually aren't that many at all. This has been a really great phone, but the AI features are seriously lagging in iOS 26. You'd think that after a full year since Apple Intelligence launched, it improved significantly, but it just hasn't. It's so obviously behind when I use Google's Pixel 10. That phone has real-time voice translation during calls, a proactive Magic Cube assistant to help with relevant info on calls, and Camera Coach to help with framing and lighting. The Pixel is leagues ahead when it comes to properly useful AI functionality. And the last minor gripe that I have, like I mentioned earlier in this video, is that going caseless with this phone doesn't feel like a real option with the scratching and scuffing risk. The aluminum finish and camera plateau edges are a lot more prone to visible wear, especially if you shove them around in your pocket with keys or coins. Okay, after 60 days, where am I at with the iPhone 17 Pro? You can probably tell that I love this phone, and I absolutely do love it. All the refinements and new features this year, from the hardware to the software, has made this year's iPhone one of the more significant upgrades. The performance, cameras, battery life have all been improved, and heck, even the speakers have improved with more depth and space in its sound. I actually always use them when I am showering or brushing my teeth early in the morning. And this is one of those models where I feel like I'd be happy keeping this one for a few years to come without upgrading. Sort of like my Mac Studio M2 or MacBook M3 Air. I find zero need to upgrade those, and the iPhone 17 Pro hits that sweet spot for me. So should you upgrade if you haven't yet already? Well, I think if you have the 15 or 16 Pro, it's still incremental enough that you could hold off and not miss out on much. But if you have a phone more than, let's say, a couple of years old, I'd bet that you'd love this upgrade to the 17 Pro. So consider subscribing if you enjoyed this review, and if you did make it to the very end of this video, comment the code word aluminum or aluminium, however you want to pronounce it, and I'll give it a like for making it to the end. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.